Following a second terror attack in England in less than a month, President Trump is vowing changes to security while taking issue with the way some leaders are handling terrorism overseas. NKU political science professor Dr. Salzman is here to break down kind of what that could all mean. And I think we're talking about his disagreement, his pointed disagreement with the London mayor over the situation that happened on Saturday. Your thoughts on that?
Right, yeah. That President Trump would disagree with somebody on Twitter is not surprising. The mayors of cities tend to be kind of politically very different from the national level leaders. So I think it's very tempting to look at the UK and say, well, why is there this disagreement? You know, Brexit, we're kind of all about that in our administration. Some of the other international policies and even some of the domestic ones. I mean, a lot of the changes that are happening in Great Britain are the same aversion to immigration that helped propel Trump to the White House here. So I think that maybe that's what's somewhat confusing, is why the mayor would be different. But the mayor is not the same as the prime minister.
Sure.
Mayors tend to be, especially in big cities, tend to be more progressive, more liberal. So there's going to be probably more of an offense taken to the mayor. You're also on the ground there, and so you don't appreciate people chiming in from the peanut gallery, so to speak. And so I think a lot of those dynamics are in play. But you know, President Trump clearly wants to use this as a way to justify the travel ban that he has been advancing since he came into office, and even since he was on the campaign trail. I don't know that it holds enough weight for that, but clearly President Trump saw this as an opportunity.
Well, and of course, the common thread in all of this is a ribbon of extremism, terrorism, and the fight against it all.
Right. So that's, and with the attack in Manchester just, not even weeks ago,
yeah.
And then to be followed immediately by this, that the president had recently gone on his trip to the Middle East. You know, a lot of this kind of taps into the same vein, which is that, you know, fundamentalism, that extremism has to be stopped, and particularly doing that by limiting, immigration, I think is what is most important. But, you know, others will say, well, this is just a distraction. Mm-hmm. And I think that what we're seeing and what we should begin appreciating now as we sit here in June is that the world, there's just a lot of noise in the world. And what's different now is not that there is noise, not that there's all these conversations going on, but it's just that the President of the United States is kind of contributing to that noise, whereas before that was the presidency would appear more like, you know, a calm pond in the morning, and now it's more like a violent river, if we are kind of thinking of analogies. And so that's what's different, and we're still trying to understand it, but we can take kind of solace in at least we know what our president's thinking. He's putting it out there for us to hear.
We have a few seconds left, but I do want to dive into the locality of having the president here on Wednesday talking about road and bridge issues. President Barack Obama was here for the same issue, a few years ago. So that common core of something needs to happen for the Brent Spence and other infrastructure projects is pretty exciting for us locally.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? You know, new presidency, new policies, but here they are again, like you said, in Cincinnati. We've had the governor of Ohio has appeared, on the riverfront. Campaign candidate Clinton appeared here. Yeah. Senator McConnell has appeared here. So there's clearly something to this. I think one of the things that this area has is that Ohio is such an important voting block. So you hold this in Cincinnati to make sure that you're getting some time here. But there's no doubt that the Brent Spence Bridge is, it really is sort of the pinnacle. It's exemplary of our failing infrastructure here in the United States. So it'll be interesting to see what the president says, how much money he's talking about, and then if he has any plan to put that money into action specifically for the Brent Spence Bridge project.
Ryan, thank you.
Appreciate
it all. All right, so much more information on all of that, hopefully on the president's visit on our website, fox19now.com. All right, so Frank, spotty showers.